this video, we're going to look at how you can use the streaming capabilities of Google Meet alongside the Q&A function within Google Slides to enable you to stream a lesson to students or stream a session to staff, but still enable that to be interactive through using the Q&A function, so that although students or guests aren't allowed to speak or aren't able to speak live, they can still interact with the presenter at the same time. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm here in my Google account, and the first thing I'm going to do is go into my calendar. And this is the only way that we can create a Meet with streaming facilities. It has to be calendared. Now, some people worry about that with students, so I'm going to take you through how I would do this. Okay, so I've created an account, an event in my calendar, and I've just called it Stream. If we open that up, what we can see is at the moment I've not invited any guests to that. But what I've done is I've added the conferencing facilities, and I've used this drop down to add the live stream. And here we've got the live stream link. And that's what I would share with the guests that I want to watch when I'm ready. So I could post that in Google Classroom, or I could post it in a staff email, however I want to do it. Because the thing with streaming is it won't be live until you actually begin the streaming. So I've got a student account open here, and what you can see as a guest, as a student or a member of staff, all you would see is waiting for streaming to begin, please stand by. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Students can't do anything that I don't want them to do because they're just watching. They're not able to interact at all. Okay, so I'll just leave that there in the background. What I'm now going to do is to jump into my Meet. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead in my calendar and join the Hangouts Meet. I'm not going to use the live stream link because I'm the one presenting, so I'm going to join the Hangouts Meet. And we can check that our camera and our microphone are working, and we can join as soon as we're ready. But this still hasn't made the session live for the students. As you can see, the organiser scheduled this meeting to be streamed, and it gives me the option up here to start streaming. But before I start streaming, I want to make sure everything's ready. So I've got my slideshow here, but what I'm going to do is use the Q&A function. So instead of just going straight to present, I'm going to come to the little drop down arrow next to it and come to presenter view. And this gives me the second window. And we'll notice here we've got speaker notes if we've used any, but what we've also got is audience tools. And I'm going to start a new one, and you can see it gives you here a web address to visit if you have any questions that you want to add. Okay. Now, obviously, that's quite a large window, and you might want that open in the background. So what I tend to do is move that over to the right-hand side, take my main window, and just minimize that slightly so that I can see any questions that pop up here. So I'm now ready to present. So I come down to here. I'm going to start the stream. And it does give you a slight lag, but the important thing to remember is that the students don't know that. You only see it because you're delivering. So if I come to the live stream, you can see it takes a while. And there we go. So it's around about a 10-second lag. And then I can click on this live stream to start to watch it. So I'm just going to mute that and leave it playing in the background. Okay. Bring this back. Bring this back. And the students, as you can see, can't see any of that. Okay. So I'm just going to bring these to the front. There we go. Bring this one here. And I'm going to start presenting now. So come down to present. And I'm going to present the window rather than the entire screen. There is now a tab option, but I haven't got that live yet on this system. And then I'm going to come over here to my stream, choose that window, to my Meet that I'm in, and share that. Hide that. And then I'm going to bring my slideshow to the front. So I can then do an introduction to the students and explain to them what we're going to be going through today. And the students can watch this on their screen, but they can add that URL on their phones or on another device or on the same device in another window. So for example, all they would do is they might get their phone, and as I'm doing in a minute, type in slides.app.gl/95FIF, and then they would log into their account, because this is all within your domain, so it makes it incredibly secure, and then they can start to type a question. So I'm just typing in a question here, and I'm just going to post that now on my phone, and we'll see how quickly that comes through. There we go. Hi, so what is extension work, please? And then we might get another question, for example, how do I say I used to live? Because this is a Spanish lesson. Again, so you get these pop-ups straight away. And the really good thing about this Q&A process is you can see here you've got the option to present. So if I wanted to, I can share that, and I can say to my class, okay, we've got a question now from Darren. Let me just pop that on screen for you. And I click present, and the students will see that. Thanks to my class. Okay, we've got a question now from Darren. Let me just pop that on screen for you. And I click present, and the students, there we go. Okay, so you can have that live interaction with the students, and then you can take it off screen again at the same time. So that means they can ask questions, you can respond to the questions in the actual stream without it being live. So you don't have any worries about safeguarding in terms of distractions in the background, because it's all within your domain. You don't have any worries about people externally jumping in, but you can still maintain that level of interaction with students. Because we're using the Meet facility, the students can also see you as well. So you get that face-to-face kind of simulation, which is really important for students at the moment. And the final thing I just want to show you is if we come out of here and we just escape, what you also get, I'm just going to close that window for a second. So the live streaming is still going on at the moment. Let me just stop that live stream. I'll come down here and stop streaming. And that stops that stream. You have no worries about students doing anything, because it basically just cancels your broadcast. And finally, the other really good thing about this is in your tools, what you also get is your Q&A history, and you can see what questions were asked, and you get it for every time it was presented. So if I did it earlier on today, there might have been different questions in there. There we go. I'll do it with another class later on, you get different questions as well. So it's really useful from that perspective of being able to record what questions were asked for your planning and your further teaching as well. So that's how we can use Meet, streaming facility, and the Q&A facility in slides to have an interactive streams lesson. Give it a try.